what we are going to talk about is how this bar right here at the close, the time 1600, 400 Eastern Time PM or PM Eastern. Listen, we went from 140.75. The next print was 151. From 151, so it printed up what? Let's just call it darn near $6 straight up in one print. It came down to 135 on the low. Then at 1603, we go from 144.27 to 148.30. That's this bar. This bar here was 1606. It opened at 146.30. The high is 146.30, and it printed the low here of 140 even. Now, having said that, the open of this bar is 1609. It is 140.99. 144, that's a $4 pop, and right back to the low of the 3-minute bar, and this bar is closing now at 140.75. And once again, this is what Buffalo Wild Wings did in its volatility. And I gotta tell everybody the following. Chipotle Mexican Grill and a couple of these earnings plays are somebody is buying $6 above the market to create that wick. That is the truth of this. It's very serious because at 1600, that is a closing bell. That's when the markets close, and then after hour markets start. So somebody popped this thing up here to 151 in the closing bar. There's something wrong with that picture. And I have it very well documented right here again. And we're going to forward it on to the right people. Because how is it, or what mechanics are they using that we haven't been seeing lately is that, listen, earnings come in after the close. Come on, I'm going to go read the report, and I'm going to take a look at the time of the release of the report as soon as I find it. And I'm going to be talking about what time the report came out. 1602 is when it came out. Now, that's 2 minutes after the close, but we made this high here at 1600. That means there was 2 minutes from that closing bell print from the release of the quarterly report. There's something wrong with that picture. And what it is telling us is somebody is getting information ahead of the general public as to the release of the earnings. Now listen, we're not in the trade one way or the other. And so that's irrelevant. But the relevancy is that this is not what we call a fair game. And that somebody knew what Buffalo Wild Wings was going to say. I have the report right here. The report is right here at 1603 and 1602. That is 2 minutes after the closing bell. Think about it. And somebody hit that wild number. Their revenues are light. Revs were 341.5 million versus 347 million. I don't call that beating the rev consensus because it's not. Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah, they got 3 pennies on that top line that popped that stock. They reaffirmed 20% net earnings growth for 2014. Not only that, earnings results. Now listen. Currently 145, then it went to 140.7 and getting as high as 151.8. This is 3 minutes after the close. Generally what happens on a close, you close at 1600. Then after that, immediately goes into after hours. And I'm going to keep this very well documented. You can see that it's up now 4.4. The thing about the report is it's not a fair practice for that number to get to other people before it gets to everybody, meaning that, hey, somebody needs to do something about these markets and the way that they report it. And you know what? There should be a 5 minute rule and a policy put in. Let the stock close at 1600, and then this is that 1600 print straight up. So this is what Buffalo Wild Wings looks like in the after hours. And it's good for you as a person that may or may not be trading those earnings, but still, we feel it's our due diligence to help you know that this kind of volatility on an earnings report, it doesn't just happen here. It's been happening in other ones as well. We just happened to catch the last couple, Chipotle Mexican Grill and Buffalo Wild Wings on the closing bell print at 1600 even.